Welcome to Harm's Way podcast for brothers, by brothers, with brothers. This is Craig, my brother Eric. How's it going, Eric?
Making my way across town. I don't know the words to this song. How you doing, Craig? You look really good with both your chins out.
It'd be a lot better without you singing that fucking horrible song. Today is a special day. A little bit of a double header. We're going to try and do 2 episodes.
2 episodes in one day?
Separate, though.
Really?
We're not going to put you guys through that 2 hours of fucking torture like episode 1.
Fair enough.
So we got a couple topics. We're just going to spend the next 58 and a half minutes talking to you guys with. About 4. This is a fucking weird day. And then
It's been a hell of a week.
Maybe, just maybe, we'll have a special guest for episode 2 for today.
Really?
Episode 4 for the podcast. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe. If he said he's up to it.
Has it felt like a long week? I think it's been a long week.
Yeah, it's been a long fisting.
It's been a
week.
week.
It's been a long week.
A whirl week.
Yeah.
Whirlwind.
What would you like to talk about today?
Yeah, I want to talk about what we were talking about earlier when we kind of the the gym class story I was talking about.
Oh God.
Yeah, like you started talking about it, I was like, whoa,
Mr.
whoa.
M.
We need to go into this.
M for mistake. Teaching gym to us.
Yeah.
Do you want me to start or do you want to start?
It's your story. You had me rolling
Alright, so
last time you told it.
yeah, we'll jump right into this, I guess.
Talk about gym class and we were doing archery and
Yes.
I asked you, did you ever have somebody that almost shot somebody and then
Yeah, so gym class, I don't know, for those of you that went to weird public schools, we had this gym class where we did all kinds of, you had your basketball and your baseball or softball or whatever the fuck they felt like playing. But every once in a while we do this weird off-the-wall sport, I guess, quote unquote.
like when we did golf but we were just hitting balls over the railroad tracks.
Yeah. We did fucking archery. And it's like weird youth bows that would the drawback's not bad, like 25 pounds maybe. It didn't throw the arrow, and I say throw, not shoot. It didn't throw the arrow hard enough to maybe kill somebody, but it threw the arrow hard enough to fuck somebody up. And we had this teacher, I will name him Mr. M, because I'm not allowed to say his name.
He was a good guy.
Eric thinks he was a good guy.
I thought he was a good guy.
I thought he was one of the most entertaining teachers I've ever had. We'll say that. I don't know if he's still alive.
He was
I
like
hope he's
Rocky
still
in
alive.
the later years.
He was... Jesus Christ. I think he was like more like a retired Khal Drogo. Is more like how I would describe him. Always yelled, tried to rule by fear. Good guy. Off his
Poor
meds.
execution.
Yeah. Anyway, so I don't know how funny this story's gonna play out. I think the last time I told you.
Don't worry, we can just delete it later.
Yeah. So we're playing archery, and you're just shooting at these targets, with these shitty little Walmart bows, and you're shooting these little aluminum capped, like arrows. They're made like fiberglass. Again, if they hit you, they'd probably mess you up. I don't know if they'd kill you. Well, we're shooting towards railroad tracks, and on the other side of the railroad tracks is a neighborhood. And again, the bows didn't shoot very hard, but if you Robin Hood that motherfucker, it would go pretty far. Well, I had a friend that we were pulling back, shooting. All of a sudden, I don't know if he got bored or if he was on the spectrum or what, but he just leaned back a little bit and just loosed this arrow to York. I don't know what he was doing.
You don't have to lean back far to know,
Yeah.
oh, he's not shooting at the target.
And I kind of caught it out of the corner of my eye, and I knew what he was doing, and I was like, oh, he's just joking around to fuck with Mr. M. And no, he full on committed. He let go and sent this bitch, right, straight to heaven. And Mr. M, his jaw hit the ground, and we could feel and hear his pulse. He was fucking angry. He said, his screech was like, I don't even know, dude. It was bad. And I didn't even look at Mr. M. I'm trying to find this freaking arrow. Because it is up, and away. right? It went over. I'm pretty sure they never found it, but it went over the railroad tracks. It went into that neighborhood somewhere, which wasn't a good neighborhood, but it wasn't a bad neighborhood.
Well, they didn't deserve that.
No, and you never heard about it. Like Mr. M snatched this kid up, and we were all. I mean, I couldn't breathe. I was giggling, and he snatches him up, and he takes his ass right to the principal's office. Now, in hindsight, what he actually did was he left 11 other unsupervised children with arrows and bows because he was so fuming, which again wasn't that big of a deal, but we were all a group of assholes. You want to know how many other people launched arrows into that neighborhood?
Yeah.
At least 5.
We had a kid in our class who was definitely on the spectrum, and he literally, we're standing on the line shooting arrows, and he literally drew one back and made a right angle turn towards
like a fire
where Mr. M was standing. I can't remember what he said, but he was like, "Oh, is this good?" And he like turns. I was 2 down from him. There was a friend of, I'm not going to name his name, but you would know who I'm talking about, was standing between me and this kid. And I just remember thinking, thank God he's between me and this kid. But he literally, he drew back. Is this good? And turns, and he's pointing right at our friend.
Oh my God.
Oh, yeah, all hell broke loose.
It's like you don't realize how dumb people are.
Friggin' started yelling and running down the line.
Oh, man, he was the most entertaining teacher.
It was funny.
He'd be like,
It was funny how...
And he didn't make noise. Like, he didn't make words. He made noises.
Yeah. Exactly.
And he'd grab you by the
Well, that's
arm.
why I say he's like Rocky in the later years.
He just punched drunk. Stupid. He might have been, dude. I don't know. Or it was the meth.
I always liked him. It was fun making fun of his dirty man pussy.
Jesus Christ. We would say the dumbest stuff to him and then make him, like, repeat it back to us. And one of the ones was dirty man pussy. And just hearing his voice.
I don't have a dirty man pussy.
I don't have a dirty man pussy. It was enough to make us laugh really hard.
Stop that. Get off of there. I don't have a dirty man pussy.
Well, so there was stages of Mr. M, right? There was, if you were doing something wrong, you had a warning stage where he was, don't do that, stop. It was quick, right? And then there was like an intermediate stage where, he was just pissed off enough that you were making him yell at you again, that it was just a little bit louder, right? And then no other stage except for full-on fucking freak out. He was grabbing shit, throwing shit. He looked like Donkey Kong. It was fucking weird, man. He would flip out, and we would laugh even harder every time. And I miss him.
He's
I don't
a
know.
good guy.
He could be alive.
I liked him.
I doubt it.
He's probably still alive, dude. He was
We went to school
like
ago.
65, and like we'd go into the weight room and whatnot, because we'd have regular gym class where we were like playing basketball or whatever, screwing around in the gym, and then they had that shitty little weight room at the junior high.
Yeah.
And he'd take us in there, and he'd just be like, just work out for 45 minutes or whatever.
A weightlifting class.
So it was nice because it'd be like, I'd be sitting there doing curls, just bullshitting with my buddies, and then I'd be like, all right, Tony, your turn. And, that's what we would do.
Yeah.
And he was jacked. For a dude, like in his 60s,
strong,
he was jacked.
He had, like,
It's
old
like,
man
I guarantee he's still alive.
Yeah, probably. Or like, I don't know, he ate too many Cheetos and fucking killed over it.
I don't know.
In general.
Yeah.
I hope for the best, because like I said, I do.
Yeah, he was a good guy.
Cool guy.
But I wanted to talk to you about hunting season's coming up.
Oh, yeah.
We haven't really talked about what our plan for that is and whatnot. And honestly, you're going to have to convince me to partake this year.
For those of you that don't know, hunting season in Northeast Ohio, well, the first day of gun season is a lot like the opening scene to Saving Private Ryan, but like a lot more orange.
I didn't believe you when you told me that the first time, and then
You pretty much just duck and wear a fucking helmet.
When you took me when we were kids, like I don't remember much from that, but
We're so young going in the
you've been hunting pretty much every year since we were kids.
Yeah.
I started 2 years ago. You got me back into it. And yeah, you're out there and there's
So if you hunt public
gunshots going off left and right all around you and whatnot. And
it's not the gunshots. You get used to the gunshots. It's the whizzing of slugs over your head. and you're 15 minutes away from your house. Like, it's fucking weird. Like,
Yeah.
when a slug smacks a tree within 10 feet of your head, some certain things happen to you when that
Thankfully,
happens.
haven't had that happen yet.
Yeah, so I hate the fact. So Eric and I have always had to hunt public land.
Because we're poor white trash.
Yeah. Being insufficient funds like a fucking ATM machine.
We don't have any generational wealth to hold us over.
Yeah, which basically just means we're poor and our family's fucking poor.
Yeah.
But
we don't have land.
A lot of people are like, oh, why don't you just, go kill a big 180?
Why don't you just not be poor?
And then you're like, well, where are you hunting? And they're like, oh, I got 686 lands in Carroll County, or 686 acres in Carroll County. Like, okay, can I hunt with you? No.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
That's usually how it is. It's a very
I love it when
it's
people
very
are
ivory
telling us-
tower mentality
it's
of
bad.
yeah.
People are like, well, just go find private land. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah. Well, we tried that.
Yeah.
We tried calling everybody in.
We've knocked on doors.
We tried calling everybody in 3 counties.
Yeah,
And
it's
you either
either
get
that-
screamed at on the phone or
Yeah.
you get other people who hunt there that get
Just
pissed
wanna
off
keep
and threaten
the
to kill
fuck
you.
out. Yeah. Yeah, going door to door is a lot more scarier nowadays than you think. And I know there's going to be a lot of people out there that are like, what the fuck are you doing? I go door to door all the time. Like, that's fine, okay, but you're probably pulling up in a jacked up, $80,000 truck. Eric and I are pulling up in a fucking Santa Fe or a Civic. Like, there's differences here.
I'll take that Civic hunting.
No, I know you wouldn't, but
No, I have.
the fact of the matter
I rolled
is,
through Bear Creek with that motherfucker.
I don't. And then the other side is leases. So I wanted to do a lease for a long time, and there's a big
That's a
difference
lot.
between doing
That's a lot
a
of money.
lease 5 years ago and a lease nowadays. People literally want like $5,000 or more.
They want a down payment on a house just to
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah, and then
hunt
you have
30
to
acres
tell
of
them
shitty land
when
that's
you're
next
going
to a
out there,
school.
and then they have to approve it, and then. It's just it's fucking nuts, man. I don't get it. I don't understand. People are
honestly,
trying to
man,
be millionaires with land nowadays. Like,
I
I
think-
got 40 acres. I'm gonna post it for $250,000 or $500,000. Like, Jesus Christ. But you can't have mineral rights.
A lot of it depends on where it's at, like the closer it is to town and whatnot. But that always gets me because it's like, who the fuck wants to be closer to town?
Well, I'm not gonna lie. Where we live, there's some pretty awesome hunting spots that are 10 minutes away from us. Like,
Yeah,
that would be ideal. We don't live super close into town either.
We've had some. That's the thing. The last couple of years, we've had some luck early in the season, during bow season. I mean, I'm telling you, gun season. I don't even want to try gun season because
Unless you have 100 acres. of private
everybody
land.
and their mother's out. I think I'm just gonna take the lazy way out this year and try to kill one with my car.
Just make one eat my bumper.
I mean, I got that nice scenic drive on the way to work every morning.
Yeah,
It's dark.
you could double it
There's
up.
lots of fog.
You could have a day off work and
I'm
some
serious.
meat
I'm
in the
thinking
freezer.
about doing it. The car's paid off. Let come what may. Just
The,
anyhow. Yeah, it's just shitty. Like bow seasons are bread and butter at this point because there's not as many people out, and
but it's so fucking hot.
we've had good success getting up at 4 a.m., getting in the woods 2 hours before light, that whole thing. But it's just, man, we have both in bow season and especially gun season, we've just had such shitty luck with other people.
Yeah.
Fucking ruining our day.
Amish.
That's why the whole like private land thing is so good because we had somebody we had an agreement with at one point to be on private land, and we had a few shots, didn't take them and whatnot, and then other people got pissed that we were just there, which they're just being cunts. But yeah, as far as public land, like the earlier in the season, the better. So I'm thinking,
We just need
I
cold.
want to go during bow season. I don't know if I want to put the time and effort in this year, but I don't know.
I mean, we kind of
What do you think?
we have to, because I don't know. I think we say that every year, like, oh, let's sit this one out, and then we end up going. And even if we have shitty progress or lack of success, it's still fun. I mean, I like going with you guys. I don't like us posting up on a really great spot and then having 7 other people clearly see our vehicles, because we did drive 2 separate vehicles at one time. They saw 2 separate vehicles in the only entrance into this.
Yeah, there's shit like that. That's what I'm talking about.
And then what they do, they literally came fucking walking right up to me.
It's so frustrating when it's like there's all the signs that, hey, there's multiple people in here. There's people in here. Don't come in here, and they fucking come in anyway.
Every time.
Or you got an organized party of 10 people with radios and shit, fucking
illegal,
doing a drive. Yeah, how much illegal shit did we see last year?
I don't understand when people and I could.
And then that one guy rolled up in the white truck and was like, "Hey, the Rangers down there," and we're like, "Okay, we're not the ones poaching."
Yeah,
you fucking motherfucker.
I could be wrong, but I think in Ohio you're not allowed to use walkie-talkies.
You're not supposed to have that.
And you're not allowed to use dogs to push deer and stuff like that. And
yeah,
we're still running into that.
There's like
public land.
We were in a nice 30-acre patch that some good Samaritan who lived down the road cut up with his brush hog. You know, he cut those nice paths and shit.
And he wasn't there that day. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice little area, probably about 30 acres. And we got a group of 10 guys that come in at 10 a.m.
I saw.
That's the other thing that pisses me off is I'm sick of getting up at 4 a.m. to get in the woods before 2 hours before light, and then you get busted up by some asshole that comes in at 9 a.m., stays for a couple hours, leaves, and then fucking comes back at 2. I'm so sick of that shit.
Yeah, and then you come back. If you're the one coming back at 2.
That's why I don't ever want to leave.
Your spot's gone. Yeah.
I would rather stay there all day. Shit, there's been times I asked you last year, like, would it be unorthodox for me to just stay here overnight?
No, some people do that. Well, again, if it's public land, you gotta worry about, like, I don't know if you can. If you slept in your vehicle, that's one thing, but I don't think you can, like, set up campsites and shit unless there's designated campsites. If you're talking about Egypt Valley, that place is like the Wild West. I don't know what that place is about yet. Like, I know my brother-in-law that we hunt with, he wants to go back down there. There's also some places in Carroll County that we were talking about trying. That's public land. But again, early season. The bad thing about early season is though it's really warm. Like you'll see deer, but if you're somewhere, like especially in a tree or a tree stand in direct sunlight, it's like hell. You're sweating, you're smelling.
Yeah.
All your shit has to be washed after that initial hunt, and then every time after because you're sweating you're sweating out.
You can layer up to.
I just don't like hunting in the heat, Eric. I like hunting in the cold.
Well, yeah, if it's hot, that's one thing. But I know, like last year, there was a lot of times where it's like maybe in the 50s, maybe in the low 60s and whatnot, and like I only got one layer on, and it's pretty nice.
It's
actually
tolerable, yeah.
But overall, the last 2 years, the most sightings we've had, the most potential shots we've had, have been during that early bow season.
And they've been in shitty places too. The one place that's 15 minutes from where we live.
That's why I'm like, I don't even really want to try gun season this year. I don't even want to bother.
Which sucks because we all bought new guns.
We know it's gonna be shit.
We all bought
and
new
it's
guns.
also gonna be cold. That's the other thing. Early bow season is like, you got a lot of potential shots, and it's actually pretty nice out.
And that's the thing. Like I'm still rocking some old equipment. You know me. I usually buy. Or I invest in some pretty skookum equipment. I put money into my equipment and update my stuff throughout the years. I haven't updated anything. I bought a single shot 450 Bushmaster to laser cannon a deer with, and I can't even get in front of one with the damn thing. And I really wish I didn't because that thing kicks like a bitch. But the downside is I've seen a 350 put a hole right through a deer and not kill it, not drop it, nothing. We never found it. So I don't know if that's the MO of the 350 Legend or what, but I'm a little scared.
I'm questioning that shot placement.
No, I saw the shot placement with my own eyes. It was a very, very good shot. It was a shot you or I would have taken easily.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw it, Eric.
Do you think because you said that you guys heard some coyotes that night.
If they did, That was miles away.
I'm thinking maybe did one of them show up and maybe spook the deer, and the deer took off again. Because the thing is, you're supposed once you blast them, you're supposed to give it some time to die, basically.
That's what I'm saying. The shot placement
and
on
you
the
guys
thing,
did.
It shouldn't have been able to go that far.
Yeah,
I've seen horrible shots on deer take them out in 20 yards.
Oh my God, that one shot your friend sent you the picture of. Because he was using 450 Bushmaster.
Or he shot it in the cheek.
He shot it in the ass, and blew its spine out its ass.
Yeah, that one. He shot one high.
I was like, how did you kill the fucking thing when you did that?
Oh, they'll die. That's what I mean. Like
after 16 hours.
And then I've seen throat shots, and you never find the deer after chasing them a mile. And then I've seen.
Well, that's why it's important to
I got a friend of mine that hit a bow shot at 60
them run off,
yards,
lay down, and die, because
that's what we did.
That's what Grandpa used to always say. He'd say like you got to give it time to die, and
and I do everything I've ever shot.
Because he said you come up on it too soon, spook it, it'll get that adrenaline going, it'll book it for a mile, and you'll never see it.
But we did that. We backed out, and then at that point, got dark.
Backed out and went to Walmart.
went to Walmart. Easily killed an hour and a half. Came back, followed the blood, and where it got into was a bottom that would not have been easy for it to get out. And we had good blood for half to 3/4 of a mile. Never found the deer. I'll never buy a 350 because of that.
Something else spooked it, or
could have. I don't know.
Or maybe could have been. It could have.
We don't have a comparison.
It could have been right next to you guys, and you just didn't see it, or something. It could have been within 50 yards of you, and you just didn't find it.
No, we followed the blood to the road that went to another property, straight up a hill, and that at that point that was as far as we could track it at that point. But the blood did thin. I know what you're saying, but no, because it would have had to double back, stopped bleeding, and then die back by its original trail, which I don't think that happened. But we don't have a comparison for the 450 Bushmaster. That's what I'd like to see.
We still have to blast something like that. So, and again, I got to recite mine in, because every time I put mine away for the season, I pull it out, my scope's fucking rattling. Fucking great. So stupid. Do you remember when we went to sight in, when I bought my Ruger? And I thought I had it tightened down.
Oh, yeah.
Shot 2 rounds, and then...
You're like, what the hell?
That third one I shot, and it just dirt kicked up like 30 feet from the stall. I was like, something's not right here. Grab it, and it's rattling. I'm like, oh my God, man.
I'm off by 6
feet. It was
feet.
so bad. Those people at the range probably thought I was retarded.
But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we need to go early.
I think earlier is better. The
way
I look at it
we
is
need to find land.
The license and the tag is just a donation to ODNR every year, but
eating tags. I didn't join that.
That's why I only buy one. Because I'm like, man, it's a hell of a chance I'm gonna get one. But we need to start doing more different seasons than just deer.
I'd like to get back into waterfowl and turkey. Yeah,
I think that'd be fun. And maybe doing some small game or something.
The thing that pisses me off about squirrel is you go out for squirrel. Like when I take you guys out for squirrel, or I took you out for squirrel that one time. If you're carrying just a 22 or like birdshot or something in a shotgun, whatever you're going to use to hunt squirrel, pellet gun, if you're carrying that in the woods, you will see more deer during that hunt than you've ever seen in your life. Then, when you're carrying a shotgun with a slug or a bow, both. You can't. It's illegal in the state of Ohio.
Let me rephrase that. That's why you carry both.
You heard me. And vice versa, if you're in the woods hunting deer with that appropriate firearm or bow or whatever weapon, you'll never see more squirrels in your life.
Yeah.
Right next to you. They'll run up to you with a fuck me shot. Like, hey, here I am.
Well, yeah.
You can't do anything about it.
When we were down at Bear
Let's
Creek.
shoot him with a broadhead.
We were down at Bear Creek last year. I remember there was one point where late in the day, like we kind of all got fed up and whatnot, and you, me, and I don't want to name him. What should I call him? Mr. M.
Oh, okay, yeah. Not gym teacher, Mr. M. The other
No,
Mr.
like
M.
we all ended up kind of like huddled in that one area, like on that ridge. Like I could look to my left and right, and I could see both of you.
Which would play
I've seen
out.
so many damn squirrels
Yeah.
that come up within 15 feet of me and whatnot.
Was that gun season?
No, that was both.
Because
it was really warm, and I remember I kept pulling the Browns game up on my phone.
Oh yeah, that spot is great for gun season because it's a giant valley, and if the deer come in at the other point and run that valley, it's like a fucking turkey shoot. Everybody's like boom, boom, boom.
Problem is,
boom.
there's a fucking road running right through the middle of it. But
wrong spot then. Yeah, wrong spot.
But yeah, it was just kind of funny because like the end of the day, we're just like, we're just gonna huddle around this big oak tree and just hope we see some. But you're right. You see, God, I had so many squirrels come. I had one come charging down the path at me, look at me, turn around and run back,
and they sound like deer. That's the thing that pisses me off.
People have told me though,
Squirrels sound like deer.
When you're younger, like hunt squirrel, because if you can hunt squirrel, you can hunt anything.
Well, you're supposed to hunt them early when it's hot and you don't feel like deer hunting, because I believe squirrel opens early in September here. So you do get like 2.5, 3 weeks of pre-squirrel, which you're supposed to go into where you're going to hunt, and you're supposed to clear out all the squirrels and have a nice stew going. And then when you are ready to bow hunting kicks in, you have less distraction and noise there, which makes sense. But again, we don't have a fucking place. I don't want to do that on public land, because then if we don't get that spot during public land, we basically just cleared the squirrels out for everybody else that's going to use that spot. Fuck them. Fuck everybody else.
That's what I'm saying. Fuck everybody. I started looking into it last year. I actually had a map of Ohio with all the counties outlined, and I kind of outlined all the counties in red that have sighted boar.
Oh, boar would be sweet. Yeah.
I want to hunt boar, but it's kind of fun, the idea of hunting things that don't have a season.
Like groundhog?
Groundhog, coyote.
Beach City's a great place to groundhog hunt if you stay away from the damn wall, but you still sit on that hill. So you're supposed to be 15, I think the rule is 15 feet away from a dam wall. Or a wall of the dam.
That's it? 15 feet?
15 feet, and then you post up. That's what my friend Mr. Z and I used to do. We used to sit up there with our 22s, and then it was all cut corn, so it was all flat, almost by the Eagle's Nest. I think you know where we're at.
Yeah, I walked through there last year.
And we'd just sit up top, and you get like 10-foot elevation, so you can see out pretty far, and we would just pink mist groundhogs.
Oh, yeah?
Motherfucker, yeah. Well, it sucked because, like, we pink missed them when they're popping out their hole, so they curl back down in their hole, so we wouldn't be able to pull them out or get them. But he had an over-under shotgun shooting slugs. Yeah, with a scope on it. It was a Mossberg Maverick Tactical. It was like an 18.5-inch barrel. It had
He was shooting groundhogs.
Picatinny up top, and then it had a flashlight tack rail on the bottom.
It was a gun that was made for killing Syrians, and he's out here shooting groundhogs with it.
And he hit one at 88 yards. Pull its face off with a 12 gauge. I was like, did you shoot top or bottom barrel? He goes, I don't know, I just squeezed and it happened.
Oh my God. Do you remember...
Because he didn't have select fire, it was 1-2.
You remember Grandpa's genocide against the groundhogs?
Yeah. I know I have to continue that battle.
Do you remember Mutt?
Well, that one was sad, yeah.
Yeah,
the one groundhog in his 80-something years.
Well, he dealt with them for years.
He fed him.
Like, we're in the suburbs. He was hanging out the back door of the 410 dusting groundhogs. And then
22, 410.
he eventually he made friends with one of them that he called Mutt. And Mutt would he'd be up there gardening and shit, and Mutt would pop out, and Grandpa would throw like food at him and shit like that. And he, for some reason, Grandpa was like, "This guy's okay. He's okay."
It's because he was big. Mutt was bigger than most groundhogs, so he would chase away the other groundhogs.
Well, yeah, and Grandpa was okay with it. And then he told me was that a bunch of them moved in, killed Mutt.
Oh, he found his ass filleted.
He found Mutt dead. And that's when he just went fucking nuts.
He went off the rail, dude. Charlie Sheen style. Like, he found new ways. He was pitchforking these motherfuckers. He was trapping
He
them.
started chemical warfare against them.
I don't know if he tried the poison because he didn't want to.
Well, no, he'd get the rags and ammonia and shit
Oh,
to
and
flush
shove
them
it
out.
down there,
Yeah, he'd
yeah.
shove it down the hole to flush them out. When they come out, he'd fucking blow them away.
Again, just like the beaches of Normandy. And then he was killing. He'd call me every weekend and be like, "Oh, I killed 4 more this week," and I was like,
Yeah,
Jesus
that's what I'd hear
Christ.
about it. Like, oh, your grandpa killed another groundhog. I'm like, God damn.
Did I ever tell
He
you
lives
about-
in the suburbs. Like, what the fuck?
Did I ever tell you about the chipmunks?
Uh-uh.
So when I worked at Dick's, this dude comes in and he's like, somebody was asking, how do you get rid of chipmunks? So this guy wanted to buy a pellet gun to shoot chipmunks. And I was like, and one of the other guys was dicking her off. He was trying to sell him a shotgun to shoot chipmunks. But it was a shotgun that only shot slugs. Another funny story, Mr. Z shot a chipmunk with a slug, 12 gauge. There's nothing left but feet.
I just realized who Mr. Z.
Yeah, so this he's actually my boss at Dick's, kind of my boss, but he was like, he's telling this guy, yeah, you got to buy this 12 gauge to shoot these chipmunks, and I'm like looking at her, and like, what the fuck are you talking about? And he's smiling because he's not making eye contact with me, and this guy's like completely eating it up. He's like, oh yeah, shotgun. It's like the bolt action like Savage 220, like it only shoots sappets. I'm like, get the fuck out of here, dude. So finally, I'm like, hey, Mr. C, why don't you shut the F up and, get the F out of here. And he was like, oh, okay. So the guy comes over to me and he's like, what should I buy? I was like, honestly, a pellet gun would do. You save yourself $100. I was like, you save yourself more in ammo. And then this weird guy comes up to the counter and says, oh, I didn't mean to overhear, but are you guys talking about killing chipmunks? And I'm like, he is. I'm like, yeah, where did you come from, And he's like, what you gotta do? He's like, go get a pack of gum, experiment or something like that, right? Chew it up while you're doing yard work, and then just rip off little balls, little pieces, ball it up, and just chuck it in your yard. I'm like, what? He goes, yeah. He's like, the chipmunks can't digest the gum, but they have to eat it because it's mint flavored. They love sweet shit. So they go and they eat a bunch of it, and then they crawl down their holes and they fucking die. And I'm like, that's fucking awesome, right? So what my dumb ass do? I came home and told Grandpa, right? Grandpa bought one of those like super saver packs of
I know what
gums,
you're talking about.
like gum at like Sam's Club or something, and he did it for like 3 weeks straight, just gum in the yard, bro. This neighborhood hasn't.
Did he quit smoking?
I don't remember. This neighborhood.
No, he didn't quit smoking.
This neighborhood didn't have a chipmunk sighting for like 4 fucking years. He killed them all within 4-mile radius. But and he just kept doing it.
Why would you want to kill chipmunks, though?
Chipmunks are the worst, dude. Chipmunks are up there with groundhogs to me. I don't like, because if they get in your house, they get in your attic, they chew on any type of wiring, conduit, any insulation. They'll chew it up, eat it. They make. People think they like only make homes and houses. They fucking don't. They'll live in your attic. They'll live in your basement. They crawl into tight spaces, so a little chipmunk can literally like crawl in your asshole if it wanted to. That tight of a space. I don't know how tight your space is, but you know what I mean. They're a stupid little fleshy dumpster species. I fucking hate them.
All right. Jesus.
Yeah, Mr. Z, he was like, I took him squirrel hunting. I was like, let's just kill squirrels. It was over in Bee Creek, and we're over there, and he's got a shotgun. And I had my 22, and I'm walking, and I sent him. I think he had his wife with him at that time. I don't know. I sent them like up the hill to the right. I went to the left. I maybe got 100 yards in. I hear boom. I was like, whoa. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, that sounded like a slug. Like his shotgun sounded differently when it released a slug than it would release like 4-shot or 8-shot or whatever we were shooting. Not 4-shot, probably 6 or 8. So I walk back, and him and his wife are just like leaning over this tree, just giggling. And I'm like, what the fuck? Look, it's about to be the purge. And I walk over, I go, what are you laughing at? And he holds up this little tiny leg. And I'm like, what is that, Mr. Z? And he goes, and I look, and it's just dead silent. And I go, what is that, Mr. Z?
Well, it was a chipmunk.
That's exactly what he said. So it was a chipmunk.
Oh, that's kind of sad.
And I kind of looked at him. I was like, where's the rest of it? And he goes, there is none.
There is none.
I'm like, how did you...
He started having a flashback then, too?
He might have, yeah.
Fucking crazy fucker.
I love that guy. Did I tell you we ran into him at Walmart a couple weeks ago?
No shit, did you?
Yeah, every couple of years I run into him. I'm always like, hey man, we need to get dinner. Dude, that's something else I wanted to talk to you about. I have a long list of people that I'm trying to, like, not really reconnect with, but people that I haven't seen in a long time, I talk to every now and then, that I'm more or less, my circle shrank really hard.
That's usually what happens when you get older.
But mine was, like, forced. Like, I kind of realized that a lot of people were using me for a lot of, like, shitty reasons. So I got to the point where I cut people out. But the people that fell out, I didn't necessarily cut out. They just, I made the mistake of closing off. And one of those is Mr. Z. I love the guy. He's another good friend.
He'd be one to have on here.
I would love to get him on here. And I think he will, too.
He wouldn't back down.
But he's super busy, that's the thing. And but yeah, so him, I love he's the guy right now that if I said, hey, I need help with this, he'd be here in 15 fucking minutes.
He'd show up with camo paint on his face. Let's go.
Well, he's a police officer, so he might.
Is he? He's a police officer now? That's cool.
The other one is it's just hard not being able to see these people's names, but most of them are going to be people that we're trying to have on the show. So that kind of makes it easier too. Mm-hmm. And a lot of them, they're not like award-winning artists or Nobel Peace Prize winning motherfuckers. They're just people that we like and we think that
I never
need to be on here.
Expected that. Like I said, I think at least in the early going, like the people we should focus on is people in our community and people. And you've told me before you know people who are community activists and people who are I don't want to say a big name around here, but people who are involved and people around here like we're not gonna have George Clooney sitting in that seat anytime soon.
Wouldn't want him. Fuck you.
Yeah, I know. I didn't know who else. I didn't know who.
Weird example, but okay.
Yeah, I didn't know who else to use as an example. Taylor Kitsch would be a fucking great one.
Yeah, I love favorite Canadian.
That right there. That's the epitome right there in that seat. Yeah. But maybe I will do hunting season this year.
That's what got you into it?
No,
all that shit?
No,
that's all I had to do?
That whole conversation was prefaced with, I don't know if I want to participate this year.
Because I told you, we always end up doing it. We always say...
I know, we do this every year.
we're not going to do it. We're going to save our money.
I don't want to put in time.
And then I buy a fucking shotgun.
I don't want to do this. And then we all end up begrudgingly do it, and then we're all sitting there with bloodshot eyes at 4 a.m., sitting on the side of the road, waiting for, is now a good time to go? Let's go in now.
Mr. M's got a shit 3 steps into the woods.
Oh my god, man. Well, 2 years ago, the very first time we went down to Bear Creek, as soon as I got to my spot, we did all the scouting beforehand and all that shit. Yeah. And I was like, that's my spot. And the first time we go out there, I'm like, man, I'm glad I brought toilet paper.
Well, that's what you guys said to me the one time. Because like when I get the runs and shit, like I gotta go. And you guys, it was like towards the end of the season, you're like, Craig, you haven't shit once with us in the woods. And I was like, I don't have to, like, I hold it. Like, I literally...
That's torture.
I hold it until I go home.
That's torture.
I'll shit in the woods if I have to. But now I did go, when we went to Egypt Valley, I went at that janky-ass gas station. Yeah. But it was like, I had to go after, like, I know 2 other people would shit there. And I was like, and one of them was Mr. M. So I was like, man, that sounds fucking gross, but whatever.
That's like the most...
And then I ate that greasy pizza, and I was like, let's do this.
That's like the most liberating thing, because I'm like, you know, we go out. I can't lower my expectations anymore, so I'm not going to give a damn about trudging into some bushes and just... It's
it'd be different if
we're out here all day. Who cares?
If I had like a pinch and go, like I get it, like a one wiper, but like that's never when I have to go. All right,
But Mr. M's funny because he's got to go like every 45 minutes.
Dude.
He can't sit still either.
He's like I gotta eat. I gotta eat every 45 minutes, but he eats like a fucking bird.
We'll plan out. I'm gonna go here. You're gonna go here. I'm gonna be here. Okay. There's 400 yards between each of us. And every fucking time we go out, at some point or another, I will look out and see some movement off in the distance, and it'll be him 200 yards out from me, walking right through my line of sight.
Just a 6'2" dude in camo walking.
It's like some freaking methed out Bigfoot walking through the woods, and I'm like, well, I can't shoot anything in this 90-degree cone because he's out there walking around.
Yeah.
Seriously, he's got to get that shit under control. He walked up behind me the one time.
Oh, yeah.
Heard it crashing through the leaves, and I'm like, oh my God. And I was on the other side of this berm.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, whatever's coming doesn't know I'm here. I had that rifle shouldered. Sure enough, 30 feet of me. He comes over the berm. Oh, hey, Eric. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
I do like that spot where that happened to you. I do like.
It's a nice spot. I saw a buck that day.
That's what I mean.
I heard that big snap,
across
and I was like,
where I went from you guys.
And then about 90 yards out, he like, I don't know if he was bedded out or what was going, or bedded down or what was going on, but you know, I heard that branch break, and I go, oh shit, what was that? And then I see him just stand up and start bounding off, like 45 degree away from me, and I'm like, I didn't even know he was there.
That one that I called Big Nasty, that was the opposite side, I think, that I went from you guys. And I was just sitting on a down tree.
Yeah.
Sitting there, and I heard like a raging stampede. It sounded like 6 deer, but it was one deer. And it was a big, nasty, like mature buck. Mm-hmm. And he was in between like these thickets and stuff, like huffing and puffing, like he just got his ass kicked.
It's just reminded me, you should tell everybody about the first time you almost shot me.
Are you, dude?
When we went to Bear Creek.
I did not almost shoot you. You didn't have a shot.
I was downrange of you.
You were asleep, and I shot over top of you.
I wasn't asleep. I was not asleep.
I could not get your attention.
You couldn't get my attention, so you started shooting anyway?
No, I did not shoot. You were at my 9 o'clock, Eric. All right?
No, I was at your 11 o'clock.
You were at my 10:30.
The deer were running.
You were at my 9:45. I'll give you that.
No.
And they were at your 11 o'clock. And you didn't have... there was a hill in between.
You were supposed to be looking to the right of us, and they all came through to the left of me.
And I said, Eric.
I was 30 yards from you.
Look at me. Eric, there's a herd of deer in front of you. And I was like, fuck it, I'm going to wrap some shots off. Boom, boom. How I didn't hit one, I don't know.
How you didn't hit me, I don't know.
You were not, dude, come on now. You tell
That was when we were kids, so I didn't really know what I was doing.
You tell people the story and everybody's like,
Kirk
almost killed Eric. Like, you weren't, that's not the playback. You were safe. I had the situation under control. I was not shooting buckshot.
Scared the shit out of me.
Oh, yeah.
It was dead quiet. I'm just looking around. Boom! Boom!
Dude.
Boom! I'm like, what the fuck? I'm just like huddled down up against this tree.
I was thinking that too. I was like, this first shot's going to scare the shit out of me. I was going to yell.
That's almost an admission of guilt.
No, fuck you. I was gonna yell first. Like, I was going to lift the gun and I was going to go like, meh, and then boom. But
like, I'd have known that. What that meant.
Yeah, you would have been scared either way.
I'd be like, what's that? Boom.
I wrapped off all three of them, though, I think. I don't know what I was thinking. I had a shot. You would have had a shot, but if it was one of those things where I set you against this hill facing this way, the fire lane, which I thought all the deer were going to come through, and then I faced the open random field that was closer to the road.
Yeah.
And then sure as shit, where did the deer come from? Across the fucking road. Yeah. Bear Creek is a goofy fucking place.
I didn't see any of them. That is the thing.
Yeah, that's the weird thing. You at one point thought I was making all that up too.
Well, I don't think you would start wrapping off shots just as a joke. Because what we're doing out there is not a joke. You know, we get up early and get out there, and it's freezing cold.
No, you heard them crashing, running away. So I know there was deer there.
I don't remember seeing any though. But there's when you came up to me afterwards, and we're looking down over like the valley or whatever. I did see the one.
Okay.
About 500 yards away, just bounding.
So you remember where that's at, right?
Yeah.
All that is logged.
Is it?
Yep.
That's a
We'll
shame.
drive down there sometime, but
That's a shame.
it's completely logged. That was a great spot because that was the spot where, remember, people kept building a bridge. Somebody would build a bridge, somebody would wreck it.
Yeah.
Somebody would build a bridge, somebody would wreck
Yeah.
it. Somebody took time and money and they built 3 fucking bridges, and somebody else took the time to destroy it, and that person stopped building a bridge there. And then we had to walk down further and cross with our waders.
One of my fondest memories of you, it wasn't that day. It was another day. We were down there at that same spot, and we walked in, and we ended up, there was like 2 ways we tried to go, and both times we saw somebody, so we backtracked.
Yeah.
And then eventually it was like, fuck it. So we found that log that was kind of overlooking a little bit of a depression, and we just sat on that log. A couple hours later, it turned into, started whispering to each other, and then it turned into, we full on started talking to each other, and it turned into full on us just telling jokes and fucking laughing our asses off.
That's what I mean.
I think I recited Lewis Black's Black on Broadway, like in its entirety too, and we just laughed our asses off sitting on that log.
That's what I mean. Like every time you're like, I don't think I'm gonna hunt, and then you have shit like that. Like that's fun.
Yeah.
Like, those are great times.
I will say that last time we went to Egypt Valley when we had that nice area, I think I screwed up big time because remember I walked in with Mr. M. You went the other way.
I took the easy.
And remember where he had a good spot under that tree.
He did
because
somebody made that spot for him.
Well, because the guy that cut everything with the brush hog, he cut the paths, but then he also cut that field.
Yeah.
M was right next to that field, but when I went in, I left him at the tree and I went in farther. When I was only about 50 yards from him, and I think I walked up on something because that was bedded down in the reeds.
Oh, probably.
Stirred something up, and it scared the piss out of me. But that whole day I was sitting down there thinking I blew his one chance to get a deer, and I felt so bad about it.
No, it would have come back.
But then
he was in a great spot because nobody's gonna make that spot unless they haven't. Like, you don't make that spot because it looks good. You make that spot because you sat there once and the deer were there.
Yeah.
His spot, my spot, and your spot, I think were great.
He's got command of everything because of the way that hill is. He has a good 200 yards in every direction. Well, he's got all the woods and shit to his back, but he's got the path going down to the left, to the right, and he's got that field in front of him, and it's on a hill.
Yeah.
So he's got that 200-degree, anything comes over that hill, they're not going to know he's there.
But can I tell you what I think we should do?
But, like, he had a good command of the area. And then me, I was sitting on that path at the backside, so I had the tree in front of me. But if I looked down left and right, I had 250 yards in both directions that if anything came out of that tree line, I was just going to dust him.
You know what I think we should do? I think we get him, pull Dad's trailer with his quad on it. We get 3 ladder stands and just take a day. And we put 3 ladder stands on all different corners of that field.
Yeah, we could do that.
And I think that's where we go.
Yeah, that's a good spot.
And I think
because that guy set it up to be a good spot.
Thickets, and each one of us are in a great corner. If the wind shifts, we deal, or we climb down and relocate,
or we get one. Yeah, that you know how in the center it wasn't like.
Or we put a ladder stand on the center.
In the center, that was kind of because the whole area in the middle.
It's a giant square.
Well, the whole area in the middle had a hill.
Yeah.
It was a slight hill, but it was a hill, and it had kind of the tall wispy grass.
There was also a tree line in the middle though too.
Yeah, but what if we put up a stand in the middle of that?
That's what I mean.
Big ass.
Yeah.
We could put We could put all 3 of us right there.
We could put a 4 stand.
You can see over the whole.
We'll put a 4 stand, and then that way, if the wind shifts for one of us that screws us, that person has another place to rotate to.
Yeah.
Or if somebody's feeling one section better, like let's say you're sitting and you're seeing a lot of doe movement, but you're holding off for a buck, and you want Mr. M, I almost said his name, or me.
You said his name once before.
Did I?
You have.
Son of a bitch. Sorry, Mr. M.
Doesn't matter. You just ask him. Ask him next time you see him.
He knows because I want to get him on here too. But we you move him to a spot and he takes a doe. Hopefully, I think that's how we lock down that section.
It's a good area.
I like.
I mean,
that.
it's mostly
of all
because,
the other places I
like I said, that Good Samaritan who cut that place the way he did. It's a good area. It doesn't help when you have 10 people with walkie-talkies come driving through 30 acres like a bunch of assholes.
But what we do, we go in there and
I'm gonna report him the next time.
We have him load up. Like we pick our spots. We have him load up the stands.
Yeah.
On the quad, he just drives them in, drops them off, comes back out, picks us out.
How are we looking on time?
50 minutes.
50 minutes? Okay.
5-0, yeah. Pretty good. It flew by. Mostly this was just a hunting one, honestly. I mean, hunting and the other Mr. F.
Yeah, we kind of carried on.
Yeah, so...
I guess I'll do.
You guess you'll do it again?
Yeah.
I think if we find a place closer, I'm okay with that.
That's like my whole goal at this point. Like I said before,
but I think we still need to find private land.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's like my whole goal at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, it ain't gonna be anywhere close to here, but like
what the plan you want to get?
Yeah, like I just want a place for us to hunt.
See, I want
unmolested by other people.
If I got private land, I would want it to be closer to here.
That's the thing. It's like you get anywhere. You have to go 3 counties away. You have to go 3 counties away.
I would drive 3 counties.
Because...
It'd be a different story if it was land that we could stay at, too.
Well, it's not just going to be vacant land. There's going to be a cabin. There's going to be a place for us to stay.
We have so much camping equipment here. We need to use that shit.
I did tell you and M that it would be fun sometime to go, because I had that buddy that would go down to Meigs County and they would camp out. He would tow a camper. But he invited me the one time, and I was like, hell with it. I guess I'll bring the tent and just go with it. That would be fun to do, is we take off down there, camp out for 3 nights in tents. Why not? Why not? It would be really fun.
The AEP recreation land.
Yeah, recreation land.
No, it's literally called recreation. That's because they took it back from the... You got to read about it. It's on their nice little thing, but it's re-creation because they took it back from the power company because they were going to use it for something, and it's strictly just managed, and it's a free thing you get online that you got to put in your window. You just print it out, put it in your window. It's a permission pass.
Oh, okay.
But they have built-in campsites that are right around where you're hunting, so like you can camp and hunt in the same place.
And I had another buddy
dedicated parking lots. You can drive right into them.
I had another buddy I worked with at my old job that he would kind of do the same thing, but he was camping out of his truck.
Yeah, I mean,
he was literally like, he would go and he had his hunting spot or whatever. He'd park on the access road and just he'd camp out in his truck 3 nights or whatever. And I just think that would be really fun. It would make it more so it'd make it less about we're gonna go out and try to get a deer and it's not going to work.
More about the experience.
Yeah, it'd be more about. It'd be a lot more fun us just hanging out, and having a good time, not putting so much emphasis on whether we're bringing a dead deer home or not.
Still got to plan food and all that shit.
Yeah.
Firewood,
beer.
Jesus Christ. I'd like to do. I don't really know if I've done that in a really long time. The whole camping / hunting thing together. I don't know if I've really ever done it.
I don't think so. You ever gone out for more than one night? More than one day?
I've gone out like super early, like 3 a.m. before.
Yeah.
Like, slept in my car until...
That's, I think, the first time we went to Egypt Valley. We were like getting up at 3 a.m.
Me and the other M that I don't really talk to anymore, we used to go in our climbers, and we would get in at 4 a.m., climb, get set up in the dark, and then go to sleep. Mm-hmm. And then we'd have an alarm set to vibrate to when it was like 10 minutes before shooting light. Mm-hmm. Then we would wake up, get alert, and then get ready. We were that much into it. Like climbing a tree in the dark is hard.
See, that's the thing. I'm all for that. Like, I'll get up as early as possible. I'll go out when it's 10 degrees outside. I don't care. It's just other people just make it really difficult to try to find success. That's why I told you before, I was like, does anybody ever, like, do you get your tree stand and stay overnight? You know, like
You can, but that's so a tree stand. It depends what kind of tree stand you're in because tree stands are comfortable enough for you to sit multiple hours. They're not comfortable enough for you to sit like 12 fucking hours.
yeah.
If you fall asleep in a tree stand, it's because you're really tired. It's not because it's like as comfortable as laying in your bed or sitting in one of these chairs or something like that. A tree stand is comfortable enough to keep you from doing minimal movement to no movement, to not be blown. Have your cover blown. That was weird. I don't know why I said that. And tree stands don't get you blown. Fuck that. To make you not, move or fidget to where the deer see you. That's what I mean. And then, but they're comfortable enough for you to move silently to get up and draw a shot or take a shot, however you need.
Yeah.
I think that's why you gotta, if you're buying like the $80 tree stand, you're getting what you're paying for. You gotta get something that's a little more comfortable that you're gonna be able to sit in for an extended period of time and not make much noise or movement. But you also want to, if you're going to spend that much money on something, you got to make sure you're putting that bitch somewhere where you're going to get the use out of it and nobody else is going to steal it. And I think in that field, if we go further back towards there, I don't think anybody goes back there. Now, the only thing we got to worry about is people. If we put tree stands in the far corners or whatever, we could also utilize that to, during gun season, if one of us wanted to push, like if I wanted to push towards you guys, if shit was bedded down there. But it doesn't help us much if those 7 dudes decide to push that field and fuck our hunt up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because it's not that big of an area. It's a pretty big area, but it's not.
It's like a hillside that wraps around.
Yeah, but when you got 7 people,
they're not going to see.
They're
going to
walk from one end of it to the other in 5 minutes.
Yeah,
it's shitty. It's just really shitty.
We'll get some good times going. I mean, it's always good times. Whether it's shitting at a gas station.
But like hunting other seasons, like I really want to. Let's explore a little bit.
I think that's what me and Mr. M and I have this other place that we want to get you in Carrollton. It's closer than Egypt Valley, but it's supposedly just as much land. But yeah, we'll go take a look at that. Hopefully soon. I don't know how much of it I'll be able to walk, but we'll get in. We'll do some overhead maps and see what's what, and then we'll go check it out. But hopefully he remembers. He sent me the link, and I think I saved it on my work computer. The PDF file of the map. But I forget what it's called. And then there's always the default bullshit.
I mean, the one part of Egypt Valley was really cool. Remember how we drove down that one road and we kind of went through like, it was like driving through Wyoming and New Mexico.
Yeah,
in the same
wide
way.
open.
Yeah, wide open. It used to be a strip mine or something.
Everything you saw. Oh, that
area, that wide
shit.
Open area where they had like the plateaus and shit.
He wants to drive back there to that strip of woods that nobody goes to.
Yeah.
And I told him, I was like, that's fine, but I was like, you can't freak out when there's a 6-inch crack in the
Yeah,
ground.
he didn't want to drive over that
I'm like,
one
dude,
little
you
creek.
got that.
He didn't want to drive over that one little creek.
And I was like, dude, I'll drive over there with my Santa Fe. But yeah, so he wants to do that.
Well, if he's got...
With the same truck, it's just.
I was gonna say, if it was just you two, I mean, he's got that quad. You guys just double up on the quad.
I don't think we can take the quad back there during hunting season.
Obviously, I'm saying all
Yeah,
this without regard to any regulations that I don't agree with. Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, no. I think his quad could have made it too, but
All I'm saying is it was a cool area. It was a cool area.
He
Like,
wants to go all the way back there and set up
we were
stands.
driving through there, and I was like, I didn't even know Ohio could look like this.
Yeah, it was weird. Red clay everywhere. Looked like Oklahoma.
cliffs and
parts of
shit.
it. Yeah. Then you get to the end of it, and there's just some dude's fucking house.
Yeah.
And a cul-de-sac and a road, and then you come back.
Yeah.
Most of it eroded away, too, so you're like, deer. Like, you gotta get super far into it to find deer.
Well, yeah, you gotta go.
It is really weird, but that's the bulk of the Egypt Valley
The
land.
strip of woods you're talking about is like a mile from the road.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He wants to go back here and put stands.
So, like, it's quite a hike to be doing in the dark, not know where you're going.
Or dragging a deer.
Or dragging a deer. Although, well, yeah, you can't take the quad back there. Just say, like, if you could take the quad back there, it'd be good to have it for that purpose. But
Pretty much around wrap-up time right now. Any final thoughts or anything you got, Eric?
we'll see you soon. No, just it's supposed to be a long, particularly harsh winter. So at least we'll be cooped up inside. There'll be a lot for us to do.
A lot of content.
That and
A lot of time to talk.
like I said earlier, we got a laundry list of shit to do.
Yeah.
Things to prepare, things to get ready, and
Money to spend.
that too. Yeah, I'm gonna figure out how I'm gonna have to start that OnlyFans page up here pretty soon.
Arms, way, toes. Arms, way, foot.
I got nothing funny to say to that.
Foot pigs. Yeah, I know. I think we're tapped out right now.
Yeah.
It's all right. All right. Well, as always, until next time, Harm's Way Podcast. That's on TikTok, Harm's Way 8993, Instagram, Harm's Way Podcast. Both at. Give us a like, give us a view, give us a holler. That's all we got for you guys. Love you.
Bye.